So a bit of a personal insight about imagination today. And I think the interesting journey that I've been on with imagination is it's something that I kind of abandoned, and was much worse off for it, and suffering a significant deficit in two particular ways. And a couple of mentors and a coach, to all of whom I am incredibly grateful to. I won't name you here, but you know who you are. Thank you. Okay, I'll name one. Sue Glendenning, amazing coach. Thank you. So I was suffering from an emotional intelligence perspective and from a strategic planning perspective, because I wasn't giving myself permission to imagine anywhere near enough. What do I mean? Well, essentially, I was really immersing myself, to use another one of the four I's, myself entirely in non-fiction, in data-based learning. And what I was doing, I was reading a lot of very purely empirical, academic, sort of founded, almost sort of, like syllabus grade, sort of materials to try and sort of instruct myself, or to allow these very, very intelligent people to instruct me how to become better, how to be a better leader. And that's good. And you need to do a lot of that, but not too much, and not exclusively that. Because what I found was that my complete distancing from anything with any kind of sort of story-based emotional undertone, especially fiction, I was essentially diminishing my exposure to really creative, emotive stories, and that actually was diminishing my emotional intelligence, because I wasn't practicing it. Because I wasn't engaging with that material. I was having very, sort of deliberative, constructive, I'd say almost kind of sterile in abstraction, sort of conversations in business every day, very matter of fact. And then I was just reading, this kind of, sort of academic literature, and even just watching documentaries, which in of themselves can be emotive, but not to the same extent. And what I found is that when I returned to more sort of story-based business literature, like, for example, Jonathan, I'm not going to get his surname right, but Jonathan, insert name, CEO of Habitat for Humanity, I read his book over Christmas. It was a gift from one of my team. It's an incredibly emotive story about the power that organization has, sort of really sort of brought from using story-based emotion to, sort of engage people with the work that they're doing. And then on the second part, strategy, as I said, sort of basically Tuesday and Wednesday, now Thursday, if you're not using imagination, then I think your strategy is somewhat sort of reduced. And I'm not saying just purely, sort of blue sky, dream-based strategy is needed. Some of that is needed. Some of that is helpful. It needs to be grounded, but it needs to be proven empirically. It needs to be proven with data, or at least data is the sort of the path that you map to achieve the imagined state. But if you don't start with imagination, you're done for. And I wasn't doing enough of that. And I wasn't being challenged by the mentors and by the people I had around me at the time to basically dream big and then plan how you get there. I was just planning. I wasn't dreaming at all. I was planning small. I was being very modest. And essentially now, dreaming much larger, imagining a greater contribution that I can aim towards and to progress towards. And that has been immeasurably helpful to me. And certainly the feedback that I'm getting so far seems to be heading in the right direction. And feel free to disagree. I'd love to hear from you if you do, as well as, as the people who sort of say, good on you, keep going. But that's a personal insight for me about imagination. So rather than a question today, if I may, I'm going to leave you with a request. Give yourself permission to dream. Give yourself permission to do something which is not so instructive, which is a little bit more emotive, and see what reaction you get, and see how you then go and apply that to your leadership. Let me know how you go.